Helene's accomplishments include appearing on The Wendy Williams Show, writing jokes for our Joan Rivers, appeared in this, what is this? Writing jokes for Joan Rivers, and those jokes were on the Johnny Carson Show, and appeared in the tri-state area on many comedy stages and writing over 8,000 jokes on ComedyWare.com. Give it up for Helene Witt.
Cabaret girl herself. She's putting on a vaudeville show. She's going to have a magician, stripper, what'd you say, a belly dancer herself. She's going to have a ventriloquist. Let's hear it for this amazing Athena. Well, I'm from New York, and some people look at me and they say, is that the love child of Barbara Streisand and Barry Manilow? I can't be. I'm almost their age. Then this wise guy, I'm sitting in the audience once, just like you, I'm an audience member too, and he says, are you Ruth Bader Ginsburg or Mick Jagger? Thanks a lot. People insult you even when you're a comic, you know? So anyway, I can't be their love child. Like I said, I'm almost their age. I'm a New York City retired school teacher in New York City. Oh, thank you. I taught in the toughest school, the neighborhood of South Jamaica, Queens. I mean, the kids are really tough in my school. You walk in and you see the school banner with the colors of the school, black and blue, and dried blood red. But it wasn't just on the banner, the dried blood red was on the teachers. I mean, the kids are tough in my school. The second grade girls next door to my class had a gang. I wish this wasn't true, but it was. They had a gang. The initiation was to take the milk containers off of my girls' lunch trays. True story. I named them the half pints. And the leader of the gang was the Dairy Queen. 20 years later, on Facebook, she's talking about her boyfriend's problems, Mr. Softy. It's like, I don't have to see this from one of my students, right? So, you know, this kid comes to school and he says, teacher, not only do I have the word of the day, but I also have show and tell. Glock, G-L-O-C-K. I know, tough kids. When we were young, we used to read these books, Dick and Jane books. Anybody had them? You had them? So when you had Dick and Jane books, you read things like Run, Spot, Run, See, Spot, Run. Well, this is how I had to teach my class how to read. Run, Spot, Run. Dick's got a gun. Spot is a pit bull. Run, teacher, run. And those were the 12th graders. And when I taught in the Bronx, this is a different school I taught in. True story, the first day I thought I'd take them for a walk because we didn't have air conditioning. So I said, it's September, it's hot out, I'll take them for a walk on the Grand Concourse. True story, guess where I took them for the field trip? I took them to the local police precinct and I let each one of them go into the, one at a time. I had no trouble for the rest of the year. I was able to control them. But, you know, the mayor, I won't say his name, he was a mayor when I was a teacher. He used to say, no matter what goes on in the classroom, just incorporate it, make it into a teachable moment. So there I am breaking up a fight. You see how short I am, right? I'm breaking up a fight. Like he knows what it's like in his ivory tower, what it's like controlling these kids. Kids are jumping on my back and all. I'm breaking up a fight. And this kid goes like this. He choked me terrible. I said, stop. This is a teachable moment. You're using your adverbs incorrectly. He didn't choke you terrible. He choked you terribly. I mean, it's ridiculous the way they think they have all the answers up there in the ivory towers of education. And when I was teaching measurement, I don't know about how it is here in Netcong or Stanhope, but in my school, they never gave us money for supplies. So when I was teaching measurement, I went home, I brought in my bathroom scale, my Weight Watcher scale, and my cocaine scale. I'm only kidding. I don't think Athena would have someone like that in her show. I never went to Weight Watchers. But Weight Watchers has a very cool tray with the banana split. You know, you can put in that little, in the scale, you can put a tray, banana split, cherry on top, whipped cream. So anyway, they have something new when you're teaching nowadays. It's called the participation trophy. Have you heard of these? Well, for those of you who haven't, it means every kid gets an award just for showing up at school. I mean, they've made the standards so low. So talking about standards so low, I could have used that participation trophy on my honeymoon. In fact, on both my honeymoons, because I was married twice. I mean, they participated, but very little was accomplished. Yeah, the first time I was married to a Jewish guy from the Bronx. And, are you from the Bronx or are you Jewish? What are you clapping for?
Yes and yes.
Oh, you're from the Bronx. Oh, we'll have to play some Jewish Bronx geography later on.
Walton Avenue.
Oh, that's where my brother-in-law's from. We'll talk later.
Burnside.
I'm sure you know him, but I'll talk to you about it later, because if I say his name and this is a Netflix special, he's liable to hear us talking about him. Kidding. That reminds me, I had a boy in my class named Stephen Jefferson, and I can say his name because I don't think he'll be sitting watching this on a Netflix special. Anyway, Stephen Jefferson was melting crayons on the radiator. No, I wasn't teaching him how to be a crack cocaine meth user. He just melted crayons on the radiator. But I was telling you about my marriages. So my first husband was from the Bronx, and he was my second husband. I'll tell you about him. He was Chinese. So I was married to a Jewish guy, and the Chinese guy, people say, what's the difference? There's no difference. They're both cheap and drive terribly. Am I too politically incorrect for Stanhope? I don't know. Maybe I'll hide behind this. Anyway, when I was married to the Chinese guy, we had 3 New Years, and that was cool. Yeah, because first you have the American New Year, and you have fireworks, and then you have the Chinese New Year, fireworks. But for the Jewish New Year, where are the fireworks? They're in my Aunt Esther's gefilte fish with a lot of horseradish. That's where it is. I went to, this is the perfect place to tell you this story. I went to Woodstock 50 years ago. Thank you. And I also went to Coachella, which is like the same exact musicians and rock stars, but it was in a desert in California. So 50 years later, there I am, right? Things really changed. Like at Woodstock, they had a tent. The tent was for bad acid trips. The tent at Coachella was for bad acid indigestion. And Bob Dylan was playing, Bob Dylan's so famous. And at Coachella, I hear Bob Dylan, but I don't see him. And the song's almost over. It's blowing in the wind. I said, where's Bob Dylan? I see this lady. She has long gray hair. She has a hat on and a cape. I said, gee, that looks like my Aunt Esther B. Greenbaum playing the organ. And the song's almost over. And then I realized, that's Bob Dylan. He's playing the organ now because he has arthritis. That was Bob Dylan. It wasn't my Aunt Esther B. Greenbaum. And Paul McCartney was singing Maybe I'm Amazed. Maybe I'm amazed, Paul. You stand there for 3.5 hours. I could barely make it up here. I got arthritis and everything. And Rod Stewart, he kills me. I'll tell you why. I love Rod Stewart. He did every one of his hits. But then during Maggie May, and that's a pretty, has a lot of lyrics, he goes like this. I raise my hand in front of all those people. I go, no, Rod Stewart. You want me to sing a whole verse of Maggie May? I came all the way to California and paid all this money to hear you sing Maggie May to me. They all do that today. Yeah. I was a grown-up, but not that kind of grown-up. No, that's true that they do that. And then the Who, when I was young, my parents used to go, wow, who? And now with 2 hearing aids, I'm like that nowadays. But at Woodstock, do you remember the famous line in the movie, I bet you do, sir, when Arlo Guthrie said, the freeway's closed, man? Remember the New York the freeway's closed. Happy birthday. You remember those days because you said you're in your 60s.
Yeah, my husband's parents, they were asked that if they could perform their farm, and they said, no way. My husband's like, yes, yes.
Wow, would you like to come up here and share the story with us? Yeah, that's great. Thank you. I appreciate it. How old did you say you were? 33 times 2?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Well, anyway, back to you, the rest of you. So Arlo Guthrie in the movie, he goes, the freeway's closed, man. So what did everyone do? They left their cars and they just walked through the mud and the dirt because it was raining. He remembers, to Woodstock. It was just like that in Coachella, only we got out of our vans, we pressed the button, the wheelchairs came down, and we went in the mud to the concert. Yeah. I wanted to tell you about what happened at my nail salon. Do they have nail salons on every corner around here?
Yeah.
They do?
Yeah.
Well, where are the people from at your nail salon, ma'am?
Asia.
Asia? How about you? Do you know?
Me?
No, I don't. Okay, so yours are from Asia. Well, you know, I walked in the nail salon. I didn't know where they were from. But after I was done, I figured out where they're from. Let me tell you about it. First of all, they have 30 forms of torture. And how do I know it was 30? They give you a little card. After 10 times, they give you 1 free manicure. Well, I wrote down all the torture they gave me. First of all, when you get your men, you could just listen in. When you get your toenails done, they put you on like a throne. They have a whirlpool of water. It's hot water. They're torturing me already. And I smell something burning, like cooking in the back. I'm saying, is that mineral, animal? What are they cooking back there? Anyway, I didn't ask. So they have 3 people working on you at one time. So they have 1 person filing your nails, 1 person polishing your nails, and then you have your feet in the water that's really hot. And then they turn on this vibrating machine. So you have no control of yourself whatsoever. And then they're talking to each other in a language behind my back, and I know they're talking about me. Because the one word they said that I could understand was cuticle. They were making fun of how thick my cuticles are. Then they get to your feet and they take the razor blade machine and they start scraping your feet and gouging out, and it hurts, and they cut you. And they say, sorry. So anyway, they take this napalm and they drip it onto your nail down. You know, I paid $4 to get my shirt dried, and the napalm's dripping down, and the Asian orange, no, the napalm is the powder they put on the fill, and then the Asian orange is dripping down into my blood. That's $4 at the cleaner. So then I realized where they're from. They're from Vietnam. So I said, look, miss, and she didn't understand me. I said, I didn't burn your village. I marched on Washington against the war. So why are you torturing me? Yeah. Thank you. And I think one of them moved into my gym. I'll tell you why. I live in Flushing, Queens. It's a very populated area. And it's very hard to find a place to live. For example, I got a new stove. And when my stove was out of the kitchen for a few days, I said, you know what? I use a microwave. I'm out in New York performing all the time. I don't really cook that much. I could do without a stove. In fact, I could rent that spot to a family of 5 in my little kitchenette. And anyway, back to the lady at the gym. I think she's living at the gym because, ladies, you know how, and men too, you go to the bathroom and you dry your hands with the dryer. She puts her hair under there. She washes her hair in the sink. Now I do it at the train station. I dry my hair with that machine that she turns it. Anyway, here's the thing I don't know. Maybe you can help me out. She sleeps in the locker. She either sleeps sideways, crunched up, or she sleeps like this. But I know she's sleeping in that gym. Well, you know what? We have so many comics. Thanks for listening to me. I'll get off the stage. Lingwood, thank you.
Oh, that was wonderful. Thank you. Take my hand and help me out. Oh, that was great. Give it up for Helene Witt. Nice.